Here it is, The Big Bang Theory. Big Bang Theory is starring Kaylee Cuoco. I think that's Kaylee Cuoco here. Yep, that's her.
Harry Potter last night. Did you? Alright.
This is the fictional place called Central Perk in Friends. You have your tickets out? These are Warner Brothers tickets.
Perfect, anywhere in the first three.
I'll go in the front. We are inside the Warner Brothers VIP Studio Tour. Warner Brothers. Right, we're going to the Warner Brothers Studio Tour. Tram.
Yep, have a look. Just watch your head and step. Guys, so just watch your head up there. Pop up. So it's 3 to a row.
Oh, Drew, come back here.
It's for three.
Huh?
It could be for three.
No, come.
Great, yeah.
Oh, great.
Drew, come back here.
Yeah. So,
No, by two.
This is our lagoon. Anytime they're in the woods on that show, it's back here. So. This street here is called Warner Village. This is our newest backlot set built in 2004. It replaced Laramie, which was our old western town. Obviously, westerns are not a popular genre. So they demolished that town, they built this neighborhood here in its place. All the houses are real on the outside, but on the inside they're actually just offices for different production companies and TV shows. First two houses on the right belong to two broke girls.
No.
193 is also the exterior for Anna Faris and Alice and Janie's house on the show Mom. They've shot Big Bang Theory and 2.5 Men on the Street. On the left here, this is Hannah's house from Pretty Little Liars. This is also Jason Segel's character's house from the Muppets movie with Jason Segel and Amy Adams. If you guys look behind you, you'll see that the street curves. The reason they curve the streets in the back lots is so that if you're shooting at one end and you look down to the other end, you can't see the actual Warner Brothers lot at the end of the street. So they curve it to keep you in the mindset and give you the illusion that this is an actual full-scale neighborhood. In reality, it's just a small street here, so that's why they curve all the streets.
Cool.
Even these people here. That's a robot. It's great CGI though. This building here is our bridge building. This is the largest building on the Warner Brothers lot. And it's been used as a hospital and an airport and the mentalist in the West Wing. This is where Rory did her internship at the newspaper and Gilmore Girls. It's also been used in Heart of Dixie, the new Entourage movie that's coming out. This is used in that. In Chuck, as well as in Ground Floor, the show with Skylar Astin from Pitch Perfect. This is the building that he works in. In post-production with CGI, they actually put about 50 floors on top of this building to make it look like a skyscraper. Sorry? The show Ground Floor? No, they use this building in the show Ground Floor. Yeah. But this was also used as the hospital for ER in the first season. Putting it up here, this is our costume department. On the bottom levels where they do all the tailoring and the alterations of the costumes. The rest of the costumes are kept below ground. We're actually driving over them right now. They do that so that the sun doesn't deteriorate into the fabrics. If you stretch out the clothes from end to end, you get about 8 miles of clothes. If you stretch out the shoes from heel to toe, you get about 2.5 miles of shoes. Speed bumps. Alright, so this here is stage 29. This is where they shot the West Wing. Inside was the interior of the White House, so the famous walk and talk scenes were done inside here. Attached to this giant brown door, which we call elephant doors, they're on all the sound stages on the front lot. We call them that because obviously you can fit an elephant through that door there. What they do for this building, if you watch Big Bang Theory, are you guys Big Bang Theory fans, anyone?
Yeah.
So if you look at this building, you probably don't recognize it. That's because they put a different wall on top of this building, so that it makes it look like a different building. That's called a facade. So they'll put a wall on top of this one, and that's the building that they'll come in and out of. So it looks a little different, but that's the actual structure. This was also Washington, D.C. for the West Wing. Ravenswood for Pretty Little Liars. The red building left here, this was the toy store that was used in Small Soldiers, which was a 90s movie, if anyone remembers that, where the little toy soldiers come to life, try to kill everyone. That was supposed to open that. Grass here and left here was used in Friends. This is where Ross plays rugby, and Red Ross is born here. Pretty Little Liars, they had a magic show here. Big Bang Theory, they have their kite fights here. Any Gilmore Girls fans? A little bit. This is Luke Steiner here on the right. The town on our right here, this is our Midwest town. Unfortunately, we can't go back there because they're prepping for Pretty Little Liars. This town here, we call it Anytown, USA, because it's been Stars Hollow for Gilmore Girls, all of Stars Hollow, all of Rosewood for Pretty Little Liars, all of Hazard County for Dukes of Hazzard, all of River City, Iowa for The Music Man, Bluebell for Heart of Dixie, Smallville, Kansas for Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, and multiple cities and countries all over the world for different movies and TV shows. They just filmed the season finale of Cap. So it's really hard to give you guys a lot of... Oh, hey, John. He's who trained me if you didn't get the joke. So that's what that was. I was kidding. This entire backlot set here was used as Metropolis for Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman. The building on the corner here was the Daily Planet. This was also the bar for ER. The subway there, I'm sure you guys know, that's not a real subway. You seem like a smart bunch. You go down the steps there, you're enter a holding room, fits about 20 people. So they'll have the extras coming up and down the steps to make it look like a busy subway. And they'll have a costume for us at the bottom of the steps. We'll change the hat and shirt of the extra and send them back up as completely different people. This part of the backlot here was used as Tokyo and The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise. On the right here, they shot an episode of Friends. This is where Ross breaks out with Elizabeth and she hits him with the water balloon. The courthouse on the right here. This was Commissioner Gordon's office in the original Batman series for Warden Adam West. This was also used in Night Court, and most recently in Argo. This is where Alan Arkin and Ben Affleck are sitting on the steps there talking about their kids eating tacos. The brick building to the left of that is Ezra's apartment building from Pretty Little Liars. On the right here, this grassy area was used in Friends, where Rachel and Phoebe go jogging, and Rachel runs to the police force. In The Big Bang Theory, this is where Sheldon dresses up as Spock and goes to the Renaissance Fair. Also where he gives away cats and $20 bills. This is where Rory's study tree was at Yale. 2.5 minutes on camping here. On the left is Radley from Pretty Little Liars. Also Daddy Warbucks mansion from the '99 version of Annie. Alright, so do you guys have any questions about anything you've seen so far on the tour? We're all good? Perfect. Let's keep this train rolling. In this parking lot here, they shot the series finale of The West Wing. This is where they built the Capitol building and had the inauguration of a new president. They also turned this into a prison yard for the Mentalist. It just depends on how extensive it is. The Capitol building, they just built the front and the rest was green screen. So a few days, typically. Not too long. The most extensive was the Tokyo for The Last Samurai. That took them 3 months to build, but 3 days to tear it down. So it just depends on the process. We have the water tower on left here. This is the landmark for the studio. There's no water in it anymore.
Jordan, can you take the picture?
Yeah.
Landmark tra i marchi dello studio.
Have you guys seen Argo?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is the building in front of us. This was Studio 6 from Argo.
Just the Warner Brothers playing from Animaniacs.
That's the retirement home for the Animaniacs. These are all trailers here for True Blood. Hennessy Street is bustling today. Welcome to Hennessy Street. This is named after Dale Hennessy, who was the production designer for the 1981 version of Annie. This street was built in the 1920s. The niche back then for Warner Brothers was mob and gangster movies, so the street obviously fits the bill perfectly for that. Dale Hennessy went to New York and handpicked all the fire escapes on the walls here out of metal yards and brought them back here to add a little more authenticity to the street. And this is where they shot Annie. Some of the other movies that were shot here, Minority Report with Tom Cruise. If you look down the street, those circular indents that go down, that's from a wall that Spielberg built in the middle of the street to enclose Hennessy. So they made the right side of the street look more like an alleyway. And the scene where he's chased by the guys in the jetpacks, that was done here. They also shot Argo here, a scene where John Goodman and Alan Arkin are trying to get to the movie set. See?
They're trying to get to the regional zone. They're going through a backlot set.
Oh, too close, too close. Alright, hop off, watch your head and step, guys.
Alright. This is where they played the 1980 film Annie. Yeah.
So they can be taken out of the ground if the production doesn't want trees on the street. You can see they're kind of in pots down there. Are you a fan of the Belt Masters at home?
Yeah.
This is the going out of business electronics store here, and then across the street in the corner, that was the hair salon. The building in the corner there was also the pet store that was on fire in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. They also used it as a bar and a restaurant on Pretty Little Liars. The tan building here, this is the comic book store from The Big Bang Theory. So if you remember the scene where where the guys are dressed like the Justice League and they're walking down the street and they see the woman get mugged and they do nothing about it. That was done outside the comic book store there. We also shot Don John on the street with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Scarlett Johansson. At the end of the street, that's Hollis College for Pretty Little Liars. That's also where Dr. Ross, George Clooney's character, lived in the ER. You guys have any questions? Cool.
Parking meter or street sign or anything that we need to stand up there. We can do that very easily.